Well, thank you so much for this great opportunity, and it's an honor and privilege to be here in European Parliament, an institution of European Union that was always outspoken, that was never silent, and if there was any support to Serbian people and Serbian students, if there was any criticism toward Vučić government and regime for 13 years, it was coming from this noble place. And thank you so much for your efforts, personal, political efforts, your presence in Serbia, and standing together with Serbian people in our struggle for better, freer, and democratic Serbia, a country in which there will be finally rule of law and responsibility for criminal activities that are plaguing our society right now. Of course, there is always a question what is happening right now as we speak. Well, people of Serbia are in the streets. We have demonstrations that are going for 10 months with a significant, if not the key role of our students, but also people from every sphere of our life, and including opposition parties from the day one. So there is an ongoing struggle which is peaceful and dignified. We have nervous reactions coming from our regime. Day by day, it's getting worse. So the spiral of violence is unfortunately spreading in Serbian society. Aleksandar Vučić is ready to bring our country to the abyss. Our job, among other things, is to try to do our best, of course, with your assistance, if possible, as a candidate country, I stress this, to try to keep Serbia out of this abyss where the regime wants to pull it with itself. So right now, European Commission seems to me that it's beginning to finally realize the concrete problem that it is in Serbia. The concrete problem is that we have a regime of Aleksandar Vučić for 13 years with a nice lip service to your institutions, but a regime that has absolutely no intentions, and I repeat, no intentions to bring Serbia to European Union. Why? Because that would be his demise and the demise of his regime, because it means accountability, rule of law. It means cracking on the corruption. It means free and fair media. Not like now when he's trying to close N1 and Nova S televisions as we speak. So people in the streets are there because they want justice. They want people responsible for terrible murder of 16 people in Novi Sad on the collapse of a concrete canopy to be in jail. And people, subcontractors and others, who by corruption actually caused this terrible tragedy in Novi Sad, the second largest city. So that's why we finally have all spheres of life. We have our students, we have our youth, we have people in the streets demanding justice, accountability, and the rule of law. They're asking exactly what Europe is asking from Serbia. And I think that this sentence finally resonates inside of European Commission. We are still not there. We need to continue with spreading the truth and with explaining the true nature of Serbian regime, which is deeply anti-Serbian. It is a regime that has captured Serbia. It is a regime of organized crime and mafia molesting the whole nation. And believe me, if you're against this regime, for them, you're enemy of the state. It doesn't matter whether you are conservative, social democrat, or the green, or the liberal, it doesn't matter. If you're against them, you are simply on the other side of the line. It means molestation, sacking from your job, blackmails, paying for the votes, migration, organized migration of the voters, cracking on the free media, and paying for votes, which we had opportunity to see in Zaječar and Kosjerić recently, two municipalities in Serbia. So what can be done? I have to say that the only exit out of this situation are the elections. We need to have snap elections, and of course we propose elections on all levels except presidential. It means that we need to go to these elections with a unified front. It doesn't have to be the one list, but it has to be full coordination of all actors, including the students in Serbia. And we need to make these elections at least semi-fair and democratic, at least as much as we can to implement ODIHR OSCE recommendations before elections happen. So, to be really clear, we want elections, but please let us try to do everything we can with the pressure to the regime so we can at least prevent them from stealing ballots, prevent them from beating up people with, if you go to the voting booth in Kosjerić recently, the only place in Europe, in our home, in our continent, when you can see police cordons around it. There's not such a scene now as we speak, not even in Belarus. I have to tell you another thing, which I think it's important. People that cracked student heads with baseball bats from Serbian Progressive Party were abolished and pardoned by the president. So people that were arrested for running cars through the peaceful demonstrators were pardoned by the president. So there is no even resemblance of the rule of law anymore in our country. We need to bring light to the events in Serbia. We must not allow the regime to do whatever they do in the dark. That's the best place for them. They want to do it in the dark while talking to you that everything is perfect, talking about reforms, talking about growth plan that are non-existent. And of course, I would take opportunity to send a pledge to you. Please understand that our freedom is ours, which means that we will get it by ourselves. But we need European Union to help us not to support a dictator and his brutal, violent, corrupt regime. And of course, a special message to European People's Party. I know that their noble representatives are here in the room. I think it's a travesty, and it's finally we need to say it. Not only because Vučić was slurring and accusing and insulting European members of your House, of European Parliament, in Serbia from the Green groupation, but they've been doing it for 13 years. I think it's a travesty for European conservatism. It's an insult for the spirit of Konrad Adenauer, that this guy is still a member of your family. The decision is yours, but bear in mind, it's a disgrace, it's a spot on your cheek. And Serbia is not going to European Union. We are coming back home where we belong. Thank you.